What's up, guys? I'm James Bainey, and I'm here with Kyle Larson, and we're going to tell you what happened in A Test of Courage. Spoilers ahead. All right, man, you know how this goes. So not everybody wants to pick up a book, or not everybody has the time to check it out, or maybe in this case, not everybody's totally invested in the High Republic. So we decided that since we read the book, we were going to do a short version of basically the plot of A Test of Courage to let everybody know what happened in the book, so that you don't have to go to read it. So spoilers ahead, like I said, but also maybe down the line you kind of forgot what happened. Even if you did read it, you kind of want to go back and use this as a reference to kind of blow through. Oh yeah, that's right, that's what happened in the story. But first, I want to check in with you. How you doing, man?
I'm doing pretty good. How are you? I'm feeling the High Republic today. Big time.
Yeah. We're getting ready to kick it off, and this is a good one to start with. A Test of Courage is just a middle grade reader, and it was easy to blow through. We're not going to be doing any reviews here. We're just going to be talking about the plot. So what happens, Kyle? Let's get started here. What happens in A Test of Courage?
Well, in A Test of Courage by Justina Ireland, we start off where there's two Nihil, and these are the marauders that are kind of giving the Jedi a lot of trouble. They're tasked with blowing up a luxury liner because there's some diplomats aboard, and they don't want the Republic in their sector of the galaxy. That's kind of the crux of what the Nihil are all about. On board this luxury liner, though, like the important thing to note is that we have Vernestra, who is a very young Jedi Knight. She's actually 16 years old, and she's known to be the youngest ever, and she's tasked with kind of babysitting Avon Staros, whose mother is a distinguished senator. And Avon's kind of a bit of a troublemaker, and she also has her droid J6 along with her. And then additionally on board, there's Master Jedi Douglas Sunvale and his Padawan Imri, and they're accompanied by an ambassador from the planet Dalnun, and his son, whose name is Honesty Weft. So what happens from there?
Yeah. And long story short, these are the main characters, and this story just kind of tells basically what happens to this small group of people. But long story short, we're going to lose some of those people pretty quickly, because that ship gets blown up, and they don't exactly know why, but everybody dies except for Vernestra the Jedi, Avon the young girl, Imri the Padawan of the Master Douglas. So Master Douglas is dead. And then Honesty, that young boy, the son of the ambassador person. And of course that droid also manages to survive. They escape on a maintenance vehicle which has no hyperspace travel, no rations, no comms, nothing. It's basically just a bare bones vessel. And they manage to do this kind of cool technique where they kind of concentrate, meditate, reach out and look for life, and they manage to land on a nearby moon that has life on it, but they don't think like sentient life. It's just kind of a place to hold down the fort for a little bit. And like I said, even though the moon is deserted, they do find a cave and some protection from kind of a natural enemy here, which is this rain that comes every night, and it's super heavily acidic, and it just annihilates the ground, and then like every day it's so vegetated that it all grows back up. So they kind of figure out a way to avoid all that. And then take it away.
Well, then so they end up in a cave, and they kind of have to deal with all their different personal issues. I mean, this is a great deal of trauma that they've gone through, and they also kind of brought a lot of emotional baggage, I guess, to this trip before they even got on the ship. I mean, Avon, she thinks that her mother sent her away because she doesn't care about her. And, but what we're really dealing with is that Honesty and Imri they're really, really upset because they basically both lost their fathers. Imri thought of his master as a father in some way. And because Imri, his force talent is, he's really in tune with people's emotions. The grief and the sadness from Honesty's and also the anger is kind of manifesting inside of Imri, and the dark side is kind of starting to find its way into Imri's head, even though he doesn't really know that's what's going on. And at one point, they start to sense that there's other beings on the planet, and they go to investigate to find out that it is actually the two Nihil who sabotaged the ship. and now they're there to actually kind of finish the job because they've realized that these kids basically survived this, and they the thing about the Nile is you really have to prove yourself and basically execute every mission flawless, otherwise it's a failure. So what happens from there?
Well, because they're on the planet, they are like, okay, we got to think this thing through. We're going to be defensive about how our tactics on how we're going to handle these people, because they're out to get us, but we need to make sure we're cool. So, they're standing guard, and it's Imri's turn to watch over, and he, in the night, alone, left with his thoughts, just decides that justice is more important than keeping them alive. And he goes and gets Imri, and they decide that they're going to go attack and kill these 2 Nile pirates. But as you can imagine, they fail pretty quickly because he's a Padawan and he doesn't know what he's doing, and these are pretty skilled elderly pirates and stuff. So they get trapped. And when the rest of the crew wakes up, which is Avon and Vernesta, they decide that they're going to go save the two guys. And while they're going through this process, we kind of get the big moment in this book, which is they rescue Imri, and when he gets his handcuffs off, he still decides to try to kill the Nile pirates. He starts kind of force choking the one pirate, and then he's stopped by Vernesta, and they have a one-on-one duel. I'm gonna kill him, get out of my way, and she says, I'm not gonna let you do it. So they actually have a standoff. Of course, she's a Jedi Knight. She wins the battle, and they were able to get everybody back to a normal state, and he was just going to have to deal with his punishment later when the Jedi inevitably did come and rescue them, because they were able to use the equipment and stuff to get the Jedi back. And they got, the Nile now are on the radar. This whole book happens congruently with Light of the Jedi, so the Nile are kind of a new enemy, so they're going to learn more about them. And the rest of the crew was able to get back to the Starlight Beacon, and that is basically how the book wraps up. But there's a little bit more. How does this book end, basically? Because there's kind of a twist on the fate of Vernesta and Imri.
So Vernesta actually, she offers to take Imri as her Padawan, and he accepts, in a way. And it's kind of cool because they both realize they went through something together. Maybe this bond is going to make them stronger. And they're also realizing there's this new adversary in the galaxy, because at this point they don't really know, they don't know much about the Nile. But then there's an epilogue, with a new Nile character that we haven't really seen before showing up, and she's ascertained what happened on this planet, the failure of these Nile I think storms that she sent out. As it's kind of hard to talk about the hierarchy in a short video, but the Nile they have a very rigid system of a hierarchy. But she gets word of all this, and we kind of realize why they didn't want the Republic out in this part of the Outer Rim, the Dalnan system, where Honesty's from, is because they're going to start recruiting from this planet. So that's basically the setup, is that, the Nile are not finished here in this part of the galaxy, so perhaps we will see them in the future. It definitely ends on a very open-ended note. So.
And it feels very like they're setting up for a sequel, because like you would almost say the Avengers, kind of sir, definitely. they're a hard enemy to beat or whatever, and he's like, I'll do it myself. It's kind of that thing. Kind of a setup for another villain. Not a whole lot to talk about in this book, but that is we are going to go into a full book discussions, which is available on the channel now, and that is our ratings, our review, and a little bit more of an in-depth analysis on what we thought about this book. But for this video, we just wanted to talk about what happened in the book. That is basically the plot, spoilers and all. That's what happened in A Test of Courage. So that's it. Make sure you give the video a like a thumbs up, leave a comment, come and talk to us, find us online. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Meyer Trunks. Kyle, where can people find you?
You can find me on Twitter at Kyle D. Larson. The D's in there because there's a race car driver named Kyle Larson, and I'm not him.
Well, there you go. All right, guys. We will see you later.
Bye, guys. Thank you.